Hey mathematicians, let's do your homework. All right, so on the front we have inequalities that we need to write and graph, and on the back we need to solve some multiplicative relationships and I find a solution to each of the equations. So on the front, we are going to read the sentence, write an inequality, which needs a variable, an inequality symbol, and a number, and then graph it. In Ohio, you must be at least 16 years old to get your driver's permit. That's true in most states. So you need a variable. I'm going to pick D for driver's permit. We're going to need the 16. I spaced them out really far because for me, the hardest step is to decide what math symbol I'm using between them. And sometimes I will even go so far as to graph it and then at the very last minute put in the symbol between my variable and my number. So I'll put a circle on 16. I don't know right now if it's open or closed, but I can start with it. And then I just start talking to myself. How would I feel about a 2-year-old with a driver's permit? Not good. That does not sound like a good idea. I don't think that's legal. How would I feel about a 20-year-old with a driver's permit? Yep, that's cool. I trust a 20-year-old to drive. Maybe, if they're a good driver. So I'm asking myself about numbers on both sides of the number I circled, because one direction is going to be like, yeah, that works for the scenario, and one is going to be like, no, that doesn't work. Baby's driving? Nope, does not work. So then I can draw an arrow from my circle into the direction that I said, yes, this number works. Because if 20 is allowed, if I'm allowed to drive when I'm 20, probably also allowed to drive when I'm 19, or when I'm 40, or when I'm maybe not 100, but mathematically, yes. The rule is you have to be older than 16. Can you be exactly 16 and get your driver's permit? Yeah, actually you can. Some people will wait until their 16th birthday and then go get it on their 16th birthday. So I just colored in my circle and made it a closed circle because a closed circle represents, yes, you can be exactly 16 years old, or yes, this number is exactly one of my solutions, not something really close to it, but exactly 16 is a solution. Now, if I'm really still stuck on what less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to sign I'm drawing, then I go and say, okay, I approved 20. So I kind of either actually write it or in my head imagine a 20 in the place of the D. And then I say, is this a true statement or is this a true statement? Well, the first one, 20 is greater than 16, is a true statement. And also, I said it was okay for it to be 16, so greater than or equal to. Don't actually want my 20 in my boxed solution set because that was just one of many possible solutions that I knew could be true. So that's how you solve these. That's how you read through them. That's how you work through them. Number 2, it is no more than 14 degrees in Chicago. More than is an indication we're using a greater than sign. No more than means it can't be more than 14. 14 is as hot as it will go. Not true, but maybe it's as hot as it will go this one day. Because oftentimes you'll see in the weather like the highs and the lows. So write your inequality and graph it. Janet is at least 13 years old. Could she be 13? Yep. Could she be 2? You have to decide. Could she be 20? You have to decide. You also need to be careful because I don't see a number 13 on this number line. So just because it's not there doesn't mean you can't do it. 13 would be right here. So you'd put your circle right above that number. The elevation in Wisconsin is at most 1,951.5 feet above sea level. Oh boy, where's that number? So it starts with a 1. Can't be this one, can't be this one, can't be this one, can't be this one. Could be any of these. Can't be this one. And then the next number is 9. I have a next number in my hundreds place of 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. And then this one is 2,000. 1,900 or 1,900 would be right there. 1,951 is a little bit bigger than that. I'm guessing it's going to be about right here. You can't actually be perfectly precise when it comes to this kind of graphing, so you put it as close to where you could possibly be on a number line and then call it a day. At most, that means the most it could be is 1,951.5 feet. So there is nothing in Wisconsin that is taller than that. So your arrow should not be going to bigger numbers. There are things in Wisconsin that are shorter than that are lower to sea level. So then your arrow is going to go this way. You will have a W. You will have a 1,951.5. You need to decide now, should I do a less than symbol? Should I do a greater than symbol? And also you need to think about, is there a point in Wisconsin that could be exactly 1,951.5 feet? And if that's allowed, then you need to shade in your circle to make it closed and switch from less than to less than and greater than, or greater than to greater, less than or equal to, or switch your greater than sign to a greater than or equal to sign. The bird is more than 5 feet away. Here's my 5. B for bird, 5 for 5. The bird is more than 5 feet away. Can they be right on top of you at 0 feet away? No. Could they be 10 feet away? Yes. So your arrow is going this way. Could they be exactly 5 feet away? Is 5 more than 5? No. So this is going to stay an open circle. Just because number 4 I left as an open circle doesn't mean that you need to leave it as an open circle. I always start my drawings with open circles and then decide later if I should color it in. I'm just not finishing every problem for you. But number 5, I will finish. This is supposed to be an open circle. You cannot be 5 feet away and say, I'm more than 5 feet away from a bird. On the back, we are only dealing with multiplicative relationships here. So if you see 4 and this x smushed together, that shows multiplication, which means you need to do the opposite and divide both sides by your coefficient. X equals, solve 20 divided by 4 to write your final solution. Careful when you are dividing by decimals. You can't actually divide by 2.5. You need to move your decimal both inside and outside to make the outside number or the divisor a whole number. When you see a fraction bar like this, fraction problems are division problems. So the opposite of division is multiplication. If you multiply times 6, or 6 over 1, that makes a fancy 1, and t over 1 is the same as just 1t. This, 6 times 6, will give you the number for your solution. And that's it for your homework.